What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This your boy Mr. Joystick 85, and today on this topic, while I'm getting my workout on at the park, we're gonna discuss the best PlayStation console that's ever been released out in the public. My opinion. Now, this ain't my favorite PlayStation console. I don't know. It might be, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you my favorite. My favorite PlayStation console is the PS3 and the PS4. And I do love the PS5, don't get me wrong. Cause the PS5, out of all 5 consoles, the PS5 has the best controllers, and it's other things too. Like when you load up a game or whatever, it basically comes on like right away. I love that. It ain't really no load times, no loading and stuff like that. So, and of course, they was going to eventually put that feature in, which I'm glad. The PS4, on the other hand, it takes forever, man, for certain games to load up. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy how long it takes. Sometimes you be waiting for like a whole few minutes or whatever just to start a freaking game or whatever, you know what I mean? So I would say, and then, well, as far as the PS3 goes, I'm gonna explain later on in the video of why that's one of my favorite consoles, as well as the PS4. Okay, but when it comes to like the top dog, the best of the best or whatever, of all the consoles, and that's even with the Xbox, and even with, I don't know about Nintendo, because Nintendo will always be the GOAT, but I'm not really going to compare it to the Nintendo, but I will compare it to like the Xbox and all that. I'm not a Microsoft fan, so I'm a PlayStation fanboy, and I ain't afraid to admit it. I love PlayStation. I grew up on it. First console I started out with, though, was, of course, Super Nintendo. So the Nintendo will always hold near and dear to my heart. I will always have love for Nintendo, of course. I just pretty much outgrew it, because I play like more mature rated type of games for the most part, especially those Souls games. I'm into like the Souls like genre now. I wasn't into it when they first came out, simply because I was on other games, and then I kept hearing about people raging, and by, you know me, I really am not really a huge fan of difficult games or whatever. But I am a fan of hard games, but it got to be fair. You know what I mean? It's like, it can't be to the point where it's like too much trial and error, or sometimes it feel like the CPU, like the game is cheating or whatever. I don't like that. But see, the one thing about most of these Souls-like games or whatever, it's like, it's fair. It's something, every time you lose, it's something that you did wrong. And you be like, oh man, I pressed the wrong button, or fuck, man, I healed when I didn't even have to heal or whatever. I used my heal by accident, like Sekiro. I hate that they did that. Like Neo, if your health is full and you try to heal, it won't let you heal until you get hit at least once or whatever. But with Sekiro, one thing I hated about that game, though, another reason why I lost so many times on that, is because sometimes, like I would press the wrong button when I'm fighting, because I'd be nervous and stuff, and I'd be on edge, and I hit heal, and I'm like, oh fuck, man. So now I wasted a heal, and I could have won that fight if I hadn't done that and pressed it by accident. So that's one thing or whatever. The second thing, well, let's talk about like the main topic of this video. The greatest PlayStation console ever. And this actually might be the top dog even on my list. It's the PS2. And I'm gonna explain why why the PS2 is the greatest console ever made. The reason why the PS2 is one of the greatest consoles ever made is because, to me, in my personal opinion, simply it's the exclusives, the first party exclusives. Think about it. The PS2 started it all, man. I mean, I was like what was I, a teenager or close to a teenager when the PS2 first came out. So it's still nostalgic for me. So let me start off with this, with the number one exclusive, God of War. PS2 started God of War. Come on, man. PS2 also started the success of the Grand Theft Auto series, even though Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2 was on the PlayStation 1. But come on, a lot of people really didn't know about Grand Theft Auto like that, or wasn't playing Grand Theft Auto like that until Grand Theft Auto 3 arrived. You know what I mean? So that's another thing. So I'm glad I thought about that, because before I make this video, I didn't even think about no Grand Theft Auto. But we got Grand Theft Auto 3. We had got Grand Theft Auto Vice City, as well as Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on the PS2. All three of those gems on the PS2. So for the PS1, like I said, I don't count Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2 because I didn't know really anything about it. I heard of it, but I didn't know anything about it. So I'm not really going to count that. I'm really not. Another thing, Manhunt. For those of you who don't know about Manhunt, damn good game by Rockstar. Bully, same thing. I think Bully was on the PS2 as well. Blood Rain 1 and 2, the vampire game with the girl. Some people may not know about that either, but you know, they even made movies from it. You know, the movies won all that. I actually kind of enjoyed the first Blood Rain live action. I never saw part 2 and part 3 though, but I heard it was garbage, and they came literally straight to DVD. They didn't even make it to the theaters because part 1 didn't do so well. I saw part 1 when it first came out at the movie theater, so at that time I was into the Blood Rain games, you know what I mean? So all right, so I got God of War out the way. God of War 1 and 2. Come on, man. Let's talk about another exclusive. Ratchet. Let me just say, Grand Theft Auto, Vice City, Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. I wouldn't call them really exclusives, but at that time, I believe they was only on the PS2, if I'm not mistaken, or were they for also Xbox? If they were also for Xbox, you can leave a comment below. But I think they was only for I know part 3 for sure was for PS2 only. I don't even think Xbox came out around that time. I don't know. I don't think it did. But Ratchet and Clank, that's another one. The Ratchet and Clank series, man, started on the PS2. Let me go to another one. Okay, I said Ratchet and Clank. I said God of War. What's that? Oh, yeah. You know, Ratchet and Clank's by Insomniac, so Insomniac started it all when it came to that. Okay, let's get to another one. Jak and Daxter by Naughty Dog. Same people behind Crash Bandicoot. We all know how Jak and Daxter was. You know, that them games are so much fun, man. I had all three. I had 4 of them. I had Jak 1, Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, Jak 2, Jak 3, and I had Jak X Combat Racing. I couldn't get into that combat racing. It was just, for me, I love racing games, but that game was kind of difficult. Like, you know, like, I don't know. I couldn't get into it, though. Okay, enough about that. Let's get to another one. Sly Cooper. Sly Cooper 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. And that was made, of course, by Sucker Punch. Same people behind the Ghost of Tsushima series. Sucker Punch came out with Sly Cooper, the Sly Cooper series. And once again, that's another one that I got when they first dropped. Sure did. What else, man? I know the PS2 had way better graphics than the PlayStation 1. Like, that's another thing I want to say. With the graphics was like a major improvement from the PS1. As far as the PS3 and the PS4, see, the thing is, PS3 was a improvement, of course it was, but it wasn't nothing groundbreaking. Just like the PS4 from the PS3, especially the PS5 from the PS4. We're gonna get on that too later on. It was nothing really groundbreaking though. But I'm not gonna lie, the PS2 graphics from the PS1 was straight up groundbreaking. A vast improvement. And I'm talking about a vast improvement. You can't beat that. You really can't. What else can I say? It's a lot of other games that I haven't mentioned though. That was on the PS2 that kind of started it all. And see, so like I said, my vote is for the PS2. Now, the PS3 came out. It has some exclusives, but not. I think PS2, out of all the PlayStations so far, have the most exclusives out of every PlayStation console. And you can't disagree with me on that because it's true. You really can't. That's the God honest truth right there. Now, as far as the PS3, PS3 basically was the system that started remasters. Because think about it. They remastered the Jack and Dexter trilogy, the Sly Cooper trilogy, the Ratchet and Clank trilogy, amongst other games that was from the PS2 era. So PS3, and that's not the reason why the PS3 is my favorite. It's a lot of reasons why, but I can't really just explain it. You know, it's one of my favorite systems. Now, as far as the PS5 goes, the only reason why the PS5 is not my favorite console so far yet, I still love it. I love the PS5. Don't get me wrong, I fucking love it. But it doesn't have a lot. It's still a lot of most of its games are still off of that Unreal Engine 4. You know, with the graphics and stuff. Even though it's using the more updated version of the Unreal Engine 4. So you'll notice like the graphics are like more crisp than they are for the PS4. You'll notice a little difference, but at the same time, if you don't have the right TV, the right television, you're not really gonna notice too much of a difference. You're really not. That's the only thing I don't like about the PS5 so far. But I will tell you, like I said, I love the controllers, man, of the PS5. To me, the PS5 have the best controllers in the game. They feel good in your hand. I mean, I love the design. I love everything about the controller. And it basically makes it feel like you're in the game when you're playing it. But if you don't have a certain TV, like maybe like of course, you got to have like a 4K TV, one of them top of the line TVs, like a Sony, Samsung, you know, something like that, in order to see the difference. Or 8K maybe. I know with the place, whenever the PS6 come out, you're probably gonna have to upgrade your TV to an 8K. But that's like long ways from now. That ain't until like 2027. So y'all still got like 3 more years. Yeah, almost exactly 3 more years from now. Well, 3 years and a couple months, because I know it's probably gonna drop like around November or something, 2027. But yeah, PS5 don't have many exclusives yet. Like most of the games that's coming out for the PS5, I know it starts like that with every console that drops, but most of the games that come out for the PS5 is also games that's also available for the PS4 and Nintendo Switch. Go figure, right? And for the Nintendo Switch as well. That's why they tell you, like, if you have a PS4 game, like say for instance, if you bought a PS4 or a game that came out for both systems, and by that time you bought the game and you got you a PS5, I think they charge you like $10 to upgrade it, so you'll see the difference of the graphics and everything too. So you have to basically update the game, you know, if you want to get that PlayStation PS5 effect. But I did hear rumors like next year that a lot of games that they gonna put out that they're gonna start using, they're gonna go into the Unreal Engine 5. So that's when we'll really see the difference. But as for right now, I mean, I see a difference because I got that, the TV for it. But it's still not much. But I'm thinking the reason why they're coming out with the Unreal Engine 5 sooner than later because of the PS5 Pro that's coming out. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on this video. I'm gonna make another one too about how a lot of stores are getting rid of their physical copies of games. And I also heard that they canceled pre-orders of that PS5 30th anniversary edition. We're gonna get into all that, so stay tuned. Once again, this is your boy, Mr. Joystick 85, and I'm about to sign out. Peace, y'all.